Yeah, people, bless up. Welcome back, you see me? So today, we're gonna talk about something that affects all of us. You understand me, I say, people? Today, we're gonna talk about crime. You understand, people?
Are you come from? What the Ras you got about it, eh? Yeah, man. This will teach you. Nothing fuck. Walk and live. Talk and are dead.
People, we're gonna talk about where it starts from, you know what I mean? What caused it for continue, what we think. You understand me, I say, people? So we'll give you opinion on what crime is and the causes and the possible solution that is based on my personal opinion from my point of view. So people, crime, we're looking into crime now, people, right? Crime has been around way long before a police force even existed. As a matter of fact, crime has been around even before Jesus Christ. You get me, I say, people? Crime is from in biblical days when Cain killed Abel. Remember, you know, people, Cain and Abel were brothers, you know, and they were the first set of children from Adam and Eve. You understand me, people? Adam and Eve, first two sons. You get me, I say, people? And Cain killed Abel, people. That is showing from biblical days, crime has no boundaries, not even family. Crime has been around way long before Jesus Christ was brought onto the face of this earth. You know what I mean, people? Remember, you know, according to the Bible, you know, it was because of mankind's sinful ways why Jesus had to come to earth, you know what I mean, to die for the sins of man so that man can be saved and go to heaven once again. So from them long time days, people are robbed, people are killed, people are raped, you know what I mean, and people are general people from way back in the biblical days. And that is even way before there were even punishment for these type of crime. Another thing to get clear, people, you hear them always say that human beings are a kind of animal, just at a higher level, people. Have you ever noticed the jungle? Out in the wild jungle, there are no rules. It's a survival game. And if you notice, animals are always fighting to be dominant. The lions fight for dominance, you understand me, I say, people? So and most of the males normally fight for dominance. And it's basically no different with mankind. People, man, most of all, always a war with man. Woman war but less. You understand, people? So it's like man mostly a fight for dominance. Same like in the animal kingdom. The male animal most time I try to be dominant over the others. I can guarantee, you know, people, if there were never weapons like guns and machete and other implements, persons would still be fighting. You know what I mean? They'll be using their fists to fight. People will be using stones, whatever they can find. Because, in my opinion, it's just a part of human nature. Human beings are designed that way. Even though there are a lot of persons who just want to live in peace, live free, you know what I mean, and say everybody live good. You know what I mean? Some people just love peace and tranquility. There are also others who do not like peace. There are persons who will hurt you for no reason. They don't need to know you. They don't need to have an altercation with you. They just see you and feel like you are a threat to them, maybe by just their presence, or they just don't like you, or they got some evil intention towards you for no reason. So the reality of it is, there are just some persons with their evil mind set on hurting the helpless and the weaker persons. And trust me, they don't need a reason to do it, people. It's just the type of mindset that these people have. They feel joy by making other people suffer, you know what I mean, people? Making other people uncomfortable. That is just how some people feel good. That is what they do for fun. Persons with such evil and cruel mentality oftentimes cause other persons who do not have that kind of mindset to get involved in crime. And this is solely for the purpose of self-defense. Because people, I can tell you this, no man wants to see his mother sister, his aunt, you know what I mean, and other relatives being raped and taken advantage of by others without doing something about it, people. You understand? That is what changes the mindset of some people and cause them to do serious things. When it comes down to crime, basically, from in the beginning of time, you have two set of people. You have the aggressors and you have the defenders. So people, the defenders basically came together, you know what I mean, and organized and decided that they are going to hunt down the persons that will hurt people for no reason, and that was when they created punishment such as jail time, flogging, you know, hanging, and so on and so forth. Now that we have a better understanding of where crime is coming from, let us fast forward now to 2023, you know what I mean, and look at Jamaica and the type of issues that we are having in our country. In any society at all, crime is not just only the police's problem to solve. You understand, my people? Because listen, in every society, the number of civilian population outnumbers the police by far. In any country, you can check the stats. We as citizens all have a role to play. You understand, people? And there are other entities with responsibility to fight crime in the country, not only the police force. So everyone have to come forth and play their role effectively. Based on my research, people, you know what I mean, crime is not just caused by poverty. That's what a lot of persons use as excuse to say that, oh, I'm poor and not now go on, so them turn to a life of crime. People, I can tell you this, 3/4 of who you see in a crime, them have some gun were very expensive. Your man have a gun because 500,000, a gun cost $1 million, and him don't even have on a good t-shirt. So basically, people, a man can't build a big house for living in, can't build a comfortable house for living in. You know what I mean? Him can't buy a car, him can hardly find food, but him have an expensive gun to walk with and a lot of ammunition for it. And these are the same people who will talk about poverty. So people, poverty is not the main cause for crime. I personally am from a very poor background, and I mean, people, and I did not choose that life. So everybody have a choice. In my personal opinion, crime is more of a social problem. You understand me, as a people? It has more to do with the community in which you were brought up, the community in which you are living, the type of activities that take place in your community, the kind of influence that you grow up seeing in your community. You get to me, as a people? The things that we see happen in your day-to-day life, that kind of living influence the outcome of most people. Let me give you an example. A community in Kingston, right? For example, Tivoli Garden. That community is more likely to produce violent people than, say, a community in Senton called Wattown. You understand, my people? In that community called Wattown, persons are still riding donkeys to their farm in the early morning. And I mean, peaceful people. Not saying that violent people do not come from these rural communities also, but it is way less. Sometimes in 10 years you might find like a 1 or a 2 violent producer coming from these areas. Most of these people enter into farming, you know what I mean, or they start working and they leave their community and go other areas to work. You get them, as a people, because they want to uplift themselves and their family, you know what I mean, come closer to the main, because you know that place is kind of more way in the hills. You get them, as a people. And likewise in Kingston, a lot of these communities, you have very brilliant people coming from these communities. You know what I mean? You still have people, a doctor come from Tivoli Garden. You have people where a lawyer, you know what I mean? You have nurse, you have police come from these communities. Same way, people. But I'm saying, as it relates to violence, those communities are more likely to produce violent people than the one in the country. And it's based on what people are exposed to whilst they are growing up, their environment, what they see happening around them. You come from country, you mostly see farming. You come from town, you mostly see people up and down and war and them things there, because where there are more people, you know what I mean, the opportunity for violence increase. Another contributor to, you know what I mean, is cultural thing, you know what I mean. people grew up and them ears say, yo, this a man was a bad man, and that the man there was a bad man, and all people used to look up to them and fear them and rate them. So you know, enough man grow with the mentality, them want people to be afraid of them. All if the man a bad man, them still want people afraid of them. So it's like the bad man culture in some people. You get to me, I say people, a young man grew up in a community, you know what I mean? He might never know bad man, but as soon as him start making money, you know, all of a sudden him turn area leader now, you know what I mean? Him around the place, 500-600 man back at him everywhere him I go. You get to me, I say people, but when him did poor, he was never that person. Possibly he was even brought up in church, at the church boy, you get me, I say. But because of that type of culture there, once the money come around him now, him start feeling power, and then him feel say yes, him around the place now, and before you know it, him find himself on the wrong side of the law. With all that being said, people, we all understand now that environment, you know what I mean, have a lot to do with how persons operate. You get me, as a people. So in order to tackle crime, in order to try to put crime down, you have to attack crime from the root, people. You get me, I say. You have to try to get the persons to change their mind, because crime itself is based on the mindset of the people. So by social intervention programs or whatever means, if we can attack from the root and get the younger generation to change their way of thinking, then we might be able to remove them from the conveyor belt of destruction, which is going to eventually lead them to the prison or the morgue. And that's just basically it, people. Whether they're gonna be cut down by the law or they're gonna be cut down by their own kind. So people, social intervention programs can be put in place, you know what I mean, to assist a lot of these youths, you know what I mean, to have a different outlook on life. Because a lot of these youths, you know, people, were forced to be adults from they are very young, from a very tender age, you know what I mean. Some of them lose their mother at a very young age, them lose them father. Some of them lose both parents, you understand me, as a people. And this put a dent in the youth them from early. So none of these youth have to play adult role from early because them lose parent or parents to violence. You get me, as a people. And I can say this to you, 99% of the man them were involved in a crime. 99% of gunmen don't want them little son or them little daughter to grow up and involved in a crime, because most of them try to ensure that they send their children to school, because they want them little youth to come to a lawyer, they want him to grow up and become a teacher. You get me, as a people, nurse, or so on and so forth. They never wanted their child to grow up and live the same way like they do. But a lot of these men end up losing their life, people. And the fact that they lose their life, their child has lost that level of mentorship now, and it is up to the community to grow them. So in most cases, these fathers are cut down, you know what I mean, at a young age. You get me, as a people. The average time for most of them gangsters live between 17 to 25, 26. You understand me, as a people? Most of the gangsters them drop out within that time there. Them get killed by rival gangs, them get killed by them friend, or them have confrontation with the law. However, you understand, people? So these little youths now, without a father figure in them life, you know what I mean? Somebody will really check for them grow up, and them hear that them father was such and such a gangster, them hear what them father do, you understand? And them hear who kill them father, who cut down them father. So them grow with revenge in them heart, you understand, people? So their only purpose, their sole purpose in life now is to take revenge against the people that took down their father. I have worked in the jail system for years. You know what I mean, people? I have worked in jail for years, and I can tell you this, people. Most persons who come to the jail, you know what I mean, and you ask them why, you know what I mean, why they choose to get involved in certain things, most of the time the answers will be the same. You know what I mean? Survival. That is what most of these persons say is their reason for getting involved. You know what I mean? Self-defense. So people, if an individual has his mind made up to commit a crime by hurting someone, if the police don't have prior knowledge about that particular situation, then there is very little that the police can do to prevent that person from carrying out the act against the person that he is targeting. Remember, you know, people, lawmakers make the law. You understand me? I say, and create the punishment which comes as a result of breaking that particular law. The police implement strategies to prevent persons from breaking these laws. You understand me? I say, people, such as effective presence, intelligence gathering, you know what I mean, carrying out operational duties, and also community policing. The police also ensure that anyone who breaks the law, they are brought to justice. You know, people, back in the days when I was growing up, I can remember when the school teacher asked you what you want to be when you grow up, what kind of job you want to, you know what I mean, what kind of career path you want to take. A lot of persons would get up and say teacher, police, nurse, soldier, lawyer, doctor, people. But nowadays, that has all changed because of the shift in the culture. Back then and now is different. Back in the days when there were certain challenges, like for example, teachers need more pay, police need more pay, nurses need more pay, doctors need more pay. If you never read the paper, you wouldn't see it. You understand me, I say, people? But nowadays, things have changed. And everybody have technology now that they can see exactly what is happening. So these youths are seeing the challenges that teachers, police, nurse, and you know what I mean, doctors, or even doctors are having. Imagine your school teacher, we are teaching, you know what I mean, how to grow up and operate in society and how to make better of yourself, because that's what your teacher is preparing you for, to go out there in the world. And if you see your teacher complaining, automatically it is going to be discouraging you from taking that same career path. Because when you see a person in a job over 20 years, you get to say people and them can't even really buy a house, you know what I mean? Them still pay rent. Them can hardly buy a car. You know, some people can't buy no car at all. They have to take taxi same way. You get to say people, so the younger generation are look on the aspect of life then. On the other hand, you see a youth left school, 17-year-old, him turn scammer, and you see him build up him house in the same community. You see him buy 3 Beamer, him buy 1 Benz, him have all of the girls them, him have the most liquor and money, a flask every day, you know what I mean? And him a go around and a give people things and him a help out people and a do something. Him a live the dream. You get me, I say, people, what do you think is going to be more attractive to the younger generation that is in school? A struggling teacher, police, nurse, or a scammer who is living a successful looking life? You see a scammer, him crash a Benz today and it's like a nothing to him. You get me, I say, people, yeah man, him turn over him Benz pan the top and him come out and him run on a snap. Because it is nothing. So out of that life or a life of struggling, which one you think that people are more likely to choose? And which of these lifestyle is easier to join? I mean, to join a government job, you know, you got to have academic qualifications to get into government jobs. But on the other hand, to get into scamming, all a man need to do I just listen what the next man say, you know what I mean, and try the same thing on him phone, try to trick people and get their money. A lot of times it works because it works for many of these guys. You understand? Most of them eventually invest their money in a crime, same way. So basically, there is a channel from the scamming, a man make a money to crime. You get them as a people, so they make a money illegally and them still use it to spend it for more illegal things. You get them as a people, so it's easier to become a gunman than to become a police. You get them as a become a police, you have to go train in school and you have to pass an exam and so on and so forth. To become a gunman, all you want to do, I can move around. Whether you have 1 hand or 2 hand, as long as you're willing to fire a gun, you have the mind make up and you have the right and you have the company, then automatically you're employed. You understand them as a people? Even though these persons do not survive for very long, and the other young youths coming up know that, because they would be seeing people that they know get cut down so often, but they still choose that life, because what they are saying is they prefer to live a short and happy life than to live a long life struggling. And that is very scary. People, to make the police job even more difficult, most of these youths that are killing each other are friends that grew up together, and some of them are even family. These people know each other very well. Them eat out of the same pot, you know what I mean? Them know each other parents, them go school together, them play sports together. You get them as a people. Them know the shortcut to go each other yard. Them know the girl them what each other talk to. Them know everything about them one another people. So peeps, when they decide that they are going to start killing each other, it is very difficult for the police to prevent that. You understand them as a people? Because them know exactly how to get to each other whilst avoiding the police at the same time. We just have to look at it as crime being everyone's business. You understand me as a people? You can't just tell yourself say you're not business, you know what I mean? And you're only business when it reaches your doorstep. You have to start business now. You get me as a people? Play your part. You get me? Grow your youth them good. Teach them values and moral. You get me as a people? Growing up as a youth in a people, one of the first video we actually see with real gunman, you know, was a video with Joel and them and him little warrior them. I understand them as a people. That video they get released and we look at it and we look on it. And yes, I hear about Joel and them man sing about them in a song and all them thing the people. You get me I say. So you can see say the culture it stay away. Some done were dead from years ago in some place people still have praise them, you know what I mean, and still do things in them name. So my people, as me I say, we all have to just play our part and do what little we can do. You get me as a people. Now I say if you sit down and make nobody come take no step on you or take no advantage of you, you get me as a people. But if somebody I try to hurt you, what you need to do, I just bring it to the attention of the police and make the police know so them can take the necessary action. You get me as a people. Because really and truly, you know, the police try. You get me as a people. The police them try them best. With all of what I'm saying, it's obvious that some people just know how to get around and do what they want to do. Because remember the people, the police can be here 20 hours and move for 1 minute and somebody lose them life. You get them as a people. Because once people mind make up for the certain things, it's hard for you to change it. And no matter how much people go to prison, and no matter how much people get cut down in a confrontation, there are always others coming up on the same conveyor belt towards destruction. You understand me as a people? So I just implore all of you, just play your part, you know what I mean? Just do the little what you can do. Big up on yourself, people. Guidance. Like, subscribe and share. I don't know, we'll keep the videos coming.
Sometimes life in the ghetto here, no work, nothing, you know. No work, nothing, because if a PMP all a JLP, him not cut him up, him shot him. And at the same thing, two sides. Like me, all a PMP, I mean, was well, and if me do me, I go damage me, I go damage him. So you see, that side they have gone, that side they have gone. We buy a gun them still. I'm a man, I try with my little gun, you know. And anyway, me I go me carry it, man, because me's a labor right, you know. Me's a figure out that the PMP, so them shoot me. Yeah, my enemy are the PMP them because them don't know what is good. All them know to do is stay out the street and rob people, shoot innocent people.
The victory for Tivoli, yet another excuse for gunfire. In the ghetto, the legacy of the politician is the M16.